Well, what some people in the Navy tell us is that this is the beginning of a great game that we've seen during the years of the Cold War, when Soviet and American submarines were locked in a submarine battle of subterfuge. Now, this could be playing itself out in the Indian Ocean between submarines of the Indian Navy and the Chinese Navy. And this could well be a battle which sees nuclear submarines of either sides. The Chinese have a Shang-class submarine and the Indian Navy had the Akula-class submarine. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Shang-class submarine, and this is the important one. The Indian Navy is not convinced that China's nuclear submarines are being deployed for anti-piracy operations. Now, China has been coming into the Indian Ocean since 2008, apparently to guard against pirates off the coast of Somalia. But the Indian Navy sources point out that you don't deploy a nuclear fast attack submarine against pirates who operate in little boats. So there is a concern that the Chinese might actually be doing more than just fighting pirates. They could be probing India's territorial waters. Now, how exactly are they doing that? They're actually doing it through a very sophisticated way. They are deploying a new class of submarine. It's called the Shang class. There are approximately 6 which have either been deployed or are building, and these are the most advanced submarines of its class in China. Now, these are deploying far away from their home bases deep into the Indian Ocean, and the point that impresses the Indian Navy is that they have deployed for 3 months at a stretch. That requires a certain amount of skill. It requires a certain amount of capability as well. Now, how is India countering this? India wants to make the point, the Indian Navy wants to make the point that while they seek more submarines, whether they're conventional submarines or nuclear submarines, the existing fleet of submarines are actually quite capable, because though they were acquired in the 80s, they have been upgraded substantially. They fire anti-shipping and land attack cruise missiles, they've got new sonars, and they've got new systems to process information underwater. So both of these classes of submarine, the Kilo class and the HDW class that you just saw, are quite capable. And finally, the Indian Navy itself maintains a fairly robust presence in operating in seas that China would ideally not like to see our vessels operating in the South China Seas, where it's locked into several disputes with neighbors. And in other parts of South Asia as well, India has a robust presence. It's part of our Look East strategy and Act East strategy. And presently, as we speak, on a 2-month deployment are several Indian naval warships, including frigates, corvettes, a fleet tanker, a destroyer as well. They'll be traveling to Cambodia, to Indonesia, to Singapore, and even to Australia.